Denver 7 News at 4, welcoming Wilson to Broncos Nation.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the journey. And Broncos country, let's ride.
The Denver 7 sports team is in Dove Valley with the latest addition to the team and what this could mean for next season.
The war in Ukraine is starting to cause new supply chain issues here in the U.S., what products you'll see impacted and for how long. And with home prices so high right now, would a tiny home be right for you? Well, more people are doing it, and we're taking a look into the rules around these potentially wheeling into your neighborhood.
Plus, a close call in Clear Creek County.
All you have to do is break that one layer and the snow's going to come down.
An avalanche rescue that shut down Loveland Pass and the warning from county officials. Thank you for joining us. I'm Jessica Porter. It's a big day in Broncos country. Former Seahawks quarterback Russell Wilson is moving to Denver. The team made their official announcement today just as the new league starts. Denver 7's Nick Rothschild joins us now with the latest. Nick?
Okay, Jessica, you can do two things, right? You can either pinch yourself or you can do what head coach Nate Hackett did, which is nearly curse out of excitement at the beginning of the press conference. But yeah, go ahead and soak it in, Broncos country. Russell Wilson is officially your starting quarterback. Wow. Our Broncos insider Troy Rank was in the building for Wilson's introduction, all 46 minutes of it. He got to see the man in person, maybe even smell him. Troy, paint the picture for us. What did you find most impressive from Mr. Unlimited?
Well, here's the deal, Nick. I've said this before. Elite NFL quarterbacks are like CEOs of Fortune 500 companies. Everything matters to them. They live it every day. And that's what Broncos country heard from Russell Wilson. He is obsessed with the process, obsessed with getting better. He told me, Nick, he only sleeps 4 hours a day because he's doing community work and he's working on becoming a better quarterback. And remember, he waived his no-trade clause to come here after watching last season's games, all 17 of them, 3 times. And that's Russell Wilson. As much as we love the sunsets and the hikes here, he told us he came to Denver for one reason.
I came here for one reason. And that's to win. And that's what I believe in. So every day, what you're going to get from me is that mentality. You're going to get that juice. You're going to get that energy. You're going to get that focus. And we're going to do it together. All the guys back there, we're going to do it together. That's what it takes. But we're here for one thing, and it's to win. It's to win at the highest level often. And I'm excited about it. I'm excited about the journey. And Broncos country, let's ride.
Yeah, let's ride, Nick. Now listen, about Russell Wilson, don't worry about it being a short-term commitment. He talked in terms of playing 10 to 12 more years and winning 3 to 4 Super Bowl crowns. Remember, he's trying to become only the 3rd quarterback ever to start and win a Super Bowl with 2 different teams. Tom Brady did it. The first to do it is Peyton Manning. He would love to follow in Peyton's footsteps, Nick. Peyton Manning coached him at the Manning Academy when Russell was just a sophomore in high school. So it kind of came full circle today.
Yeah. Troy, it was a highly impressive press conference, and if you want to know how he's making an impression on the guys that are already with the Broncos, Justin Simmons, Baron Browning, Andrew Beck, Tim Patrick, and KJ Hamler were all in attendance for his introductory press conference. You can say they are all in for the 2022 season over at Dove Valley. We'll have more coming up on Denver 7. Jessica, back to you.
Thank you, Nick, and thank you, Troy. Well, taking a live look downtown on this weather action day, it is cloudy out there, and that's because there's some snow coming our way. Meteorologist Stacey Donaldson joining us now. Hey, Stacey, it's definitely a different story from yesterday. Last night, we didn't even need a jacket, basically, to be outside.
Right, and we can almost tell with certainty once we hit 60s, 70s that a snowstorm is coming right behind. So we have winter storm warnings now here for the Front Range, and that's going to last from 6 o'clock tonight into about noon tomorrow. And that means we'll see significant snowfall along with treacherous driving conditions late tonight, early tomorrow. So we're expecting rain changing over to snow as we go through the next 24 hours. Winter storm warning in effect here for our area. As we get into the next 24 hours, we are going to be seeing things change. And so we're going to expect that snowfall to push on through. And so the rain changing to snow into tonight and tomorrow is going to be the biggest factor here going into the next 24 hours. At this point on the satellite radar picture, you can see that we do have rain and snow developing off to our west. We have snow in the higher elevations, and we have snow just off to our west into the foothills with some rain for northeastern Colorado. As for the Front Range, we're just starting to see things develop here, and that will take place here in the next 12 hours, where we see the rain move in, then it'll change over to snow, and then be all snow tomorrow morning. That winter storm warning expected to produce 4 to 8 inches of snow here for the Front Range, 6 to 10 off to the west into the foothills. Could see as much as 15 inches of snow for the foothill areas. So as we go in through the rest of tonight, this will be by about 7:30. We'll see some rain and snow, changing over to all snow by about 10 o'clock. And then the snow takes over into the overnight hours and early tomorrow. So be prepared as you're going to work or to school tomorrow, that you're going to be dealing with some snowfall and will last throughout the day. And we're going to be talking more about when our next storm is going to be showing up on the 7-day forecast in a few minutes.
Thank you, Stacy. Rescue teams were out in Loveland Pass today, searching for anyone that might have been caught up in an avalanche early this morning. The Clear Creek Sheriff's Office says it received a report of an avalanche around 8 this morning, but it may have happened hours earlier. The avalanche was in an area of Loveland Pass on mile marker 225 and was described as several hundred feet wide and about 600 feet long. The sheriff's office says there was a single track leading into the avalanche area and no signs on the tracks leading out. There were cars parked at the summit at the time of the avalanche, but all of those vehicle owners were accounted for.
There were 2-3 vehicles up here, and as of right now, all those people in those vehicles are accounted for. So we have no vehicles up here, but that doesn't mean somebody didn't get dropped off here, and when they skied out later that they would come back and pick them up.
Search and rescue teams were on the site of the avalanche for hours until a storm came over the pass earlier this afternoon.
Today, it's not enough to be the leader of the nation. Today, it takes to be the leader of the world. Being the leader of the world means to be the leader of peace.
That is Ukraine's president today asking President Biden and Congress to do more to help Ukraine's fight against Russia. Vladimir Zelensky cited Pearl Harbor and the September 11th terror attack, saying his country experiences the same every day right now. He says the U.S. must sanction Russian lawmakers and block imports. He also reiterated calls for a no-fly zone over his country. Now, President Biden responded, announcing an additional $800 million in security assistance to Ukraine. That brings the total announced in just the last week to $1 billion. This includes money to send more anti-aircraft and anti-armor weapons and drones to Ukraine. But the assistance does stop short of the no-fly zone or fighter jets that Ukraine's president said are needed. Now, NATO and the U.S. continue to insist they will not send troops to Ukraine. A small group of American war veterans, though, have decided to go on their own. They are now training ordinary Ukrainians to defend their country, and they're doing this for free.
I kind of landed on an old line from For Whom the Bell Tolls. For what are we born if not to aid one another? And looking at my 2 young sons and thinking of that line, I just felt like this was a unique opportunity to help show them how to be the men and grown-up adults I aspire for them to be.
2 weeks ago, the volunteers that they're training didn't know basic military tactics, they say. Most had never fired a gun before. Now, the veterans say they hope when they leave, other combat veterans will continue their mission.
Colorado Congressman Jason Crow responded to Zelensky's speech. He says Ukrainians are fighting for democracy and need our help.
Now is the time for the U.S. to step up and to be bold and to stand with freedom-loving people everywhere to help them win this war. The administration has done a tremendous job so far of coming to the aid of the Ukrainians and providing support, but the battle is evolving, the war is evolving, and it's time to do more.
On CNN this morning, Crow says he agrees with the Biden administration about not imposing a no-fly zone. Crow says that would cause direct conflict with Russia, which is something the U.S. shouldn't do. Well, more companies are ditching yearly reviews. Why they're starting to do them more frequently and how that could result in getting a raise more often. That's up next.